I'd like to tell you a story about the Navy. Oddly enough, the story begins here in the Midwest. This is the heartland of America. Breadbasket for the nation. This vast industrial complex absorbs raw materials from all over the world and transforms them into finished merchandise. But consumer goods are not the only export. 1/3 of all the sailors and Marines that make up our saltwater fleets come from the Midwest, from the farms, from the cattle country, from the steel towns, from 100 hamlets on the lake shores, from a dozen major cities. Yet these same waters that provide for their training, the same waters that bring the coke and iron ore to the hearth, have not seen the hull of a major naval warship since the days of Commodore Perry and the War of 1812. Until 1959, these were the largest ships that could navigate the locks and canals on the St. Lawrence River. Narrow in beam, low in tonnage, and drawing only 14 feet of water. However, when the completion of the St. Lawrence Seaway opened the doors for deep draft shipping, a new era in international commerce began. But industry and commerce were not the only ones to benefit from this achievement. Headquarters, Destroyer Force Atlantic Fleet. Plans are underway for one of the Navy's most unusual training operations. A training operation that will win for the Navy the coveted Silver Anvil Award for the best military public relations event of the year. Rear Admiral E.B. Taylor, the Deslant commander, and his staff form up Task Force 47, a fully equipped naval task force made up of 28 major combatant ships. Their mission? Bring to the attention of millions of people of the Midwest the importance of their sea power. The plan is called Operation Inland Sea. The men who sail with the task force hail from every state in the Union and include a full combat-ready Marine battalion from Camp Lejeune. These are the same leathernecks who landed on the shores of Lebanon in the summer of 1958. Future naval officers are represented in this historic cruise. The entire third class of Annapolis, plus selected midshipmen from various NROTC units of our leading universities, ship out with Task Force 47. Before this cruise is over, these men will become as proficient in diplomacy as they are in line handling. Now it's anchors away from every major Navy base on the East Coast. From a cruiser in Boston to amphibious ships at Little Creek. A submarine from New London. And destroyers from Newport and Norfolk. Montreal, and a 21-gun salute heralding the arrival of the Royal Yacht Britannia. With mass cheers providing a welcoming fanfare, the Britannia steams towards St. Lambert Lock, the first step up in this intricate system of man-made waterways. and President Eisenhower, symbolizing the spirit of cooperation that made this engineering feat possible, joined together in the dedication ceremonies that opened St. Lambert Lock to the commerce of the world. In the words of the President, this waterway, linking the oceans of the world with the Great Lakes, is the culmination of the dreams of thousands of individuals on both sides of our common Canadian-United States border. Now, the transit of the St. Lawrence Seaway begins. Now, this is a good example of the tight squeeze in store for some of the larger combatants. Pushing 28 major ships through these narrow confines is no small job. Primary requirements for the skippers are plenty of steel nerves, ship handling know-how, and black coffee. Rudyard Kipling said, "East is east and west is west." But the twain is certainly meeting here as the bosun from Brooklyn sizes up the bossy from Wisconsin. The task force nears Chicago, and the Navy prepares for its first public appearance in this Midwestern metropolis. Visitors' Day tomorrow. Last-minute touch-ups are in order, for the Navy wants to make sure its best foot is forward. The Navy's reward for this work could come no higher. Throngs of eager visitors queue up, hundreds deep, totaling tens of thousands for each ship during the days to come. Here in Chicago, as in all other cities, many of these guests are Navy and Marine Corps veterans who have sailed either these ships or ships of the same type. And now, for the first time, they can bring their families aboard and share with them old memories. From Chicago, the task force disperses, sending its steel emissaries to virtually every city and town approachable by deep draft shipping. Starting in New York State, there are Messina, Ogdensburg, Alexandria Bay, Clayton, Cape Vincent, Oswego, Rochester, Buffalo, and Dunkirk. Erie, Pennsylvania is visited, and then in Ohio, Ashtabula, Lorraine, Put-in-Bay, Toledo, and Cleveland. The Navy visits Michigan, Bay City, Detroit, Mackinac City, Menominee, Marquette, Sheboygan, Muskegon, Port Huron, St. Ignace, Wyandotte, and Sault Ste. Marie. Michigan City, Indiana, and then Wisconsin, with Ashland, Manitowoc, Marionette, Milwaukee, Sheboygan, and Superior. Last, but by no means least, Duluth, Minnesota. Now, visiting isn't a one-way proposition. The Blue Jackets, who were hosts aboard their own ships, now reciprocate as guests of the town. Carpet is rolled out on every main street. Whether in the form of a dazzling parade, a mid-afternoon social, or an evening of relaxation on the dance floor. The Navy commemorates its own. Here at the Perry Memorial at Put-in Bay, Ohio, Rear Admiral Taylor pays homage to one of the Navy's most illustrious heroes, Oliver Hazard Perry. Since Commodore Perry's day, ships and tactics have changed, but the fighting spirit is the same. And both are on display here as the Navy climaxes its inland cruise with a full-scale amphibious landing. One of the largest crowds of spectators ever collected in this country stand by for this sea power spectacular. These scenes show the invasion unfolding at each of the 5 cities where amphibious landings are made: Chicago, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Erie, and Rochester. However, regardless of which city the Navy invades, the show is authentic. The only difference between this and the real thing is the firing of blank ammunition. Many people who have never seen the ocean breakers on our 2 great coastlines are able to see the Navy and Marine Corps' work. From the everyday tasks of routine ship's work to the vast complexities of a task force in action, where each ship, each man, does his job in order to get the greater job done. If success can be measured in terms of a greater understanding for the day-to-day life of today's sailor and Marine, the mission of Task Force 47 is certainly fulfilled. Communication when the defenders of our nation bring to its innermost peoples the giant weapons they use to protect them. This is Operation Inland Seas.